Hi everyone, it's Kristen from the Dahlia Society here. As promised, I have a vlog all about wonderful show-stopping dresses for you to make this festive season. So hopefully you can stay with me. Thanks for coming to spend time with me today. I hope you enjoy what I have to offer here today. Lots of beautiful dress suggestions. Now, I know a lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere are gearing up for your chilly Christmas time, but here in the Southern Hemisphere for Christmas, it's going to be hot. Heading for summer, we always have quite a warm Christmas. Sometimes it can be around the 20-degree mark. Sometimes it can be up to the 40s. I remember about 10 years ago, we had a very warm Christmas and I was actually the one putting Christmas on that year. I had about 30 odd people here. It was near to 40 degrees and it was so warm. So I've got so many ideas. I actually have a few ideas for things that I want to make, but I've also got a few suggestions for things I've made in the past I think would make great dresses for this time of year. I know a lot of you are heading to weddings this time of year and also to things like festive Christmas parties, work dues. Hopefully there's something here that you will love, because I also have some beautiful suggestions from a lot of viewers, a lot of people that have highlighted different patterns to me that I never would have found. So I'm going to make sure I go through and let you all know the ones that I think will be great for making for Christmas time. Now you may see a familiar dress on, and I don't get to wear this much because this is my frock tails dress. So it's one of those ones that is only going to be pulled out for going to something a bit more glamorous, but I really thought it is a fantastic pattern for making. And this is the Deer and Doe Mistral dress. I talked about this on my frock tails vlog, which I'll link below. If you haven't seen that vlog, go and head over and check it out because I talk all about the making of this dress. Lovely dress pattern, would be perfect for making for this festive season. I have it on here in a stretch metallic velour knit. The pattern does come in woven or in knit. So remembering that when you're making a woven or knit pattern, it will differ and will come out slightly different size. So if you go and make the woven version in the knit fabric, it'll be too oversized. So you must make sure you make the right version for the right fabric. But I think a woven version of this would be spectacular for the summertime. And again, for winter, a velour knit is also gorgeous. And that's one thing I really am envious of in summertime here. We can't really wear velours and velvets. Now, velvet and sequins is such a Christmas vibe, but of course, here in Australia, it can get a bit hot for that. But I would say definitely think about making a velvet dress if you're going to make maybe something in a strappy version. I've seen some gorgeous versions of cowl front dresses, and many years ago I did Christmas vlog when I first started, and I made I think it was the Going Places dress by Pattern Emporium, and I made that in the green velour velvet stretch fabric. Beautiful dress on, had this really lovely flippy skirt, and that was fine to wear because it was sleeveless. And also I had a wonderful wrap dress, which was a Vogue pattern. I will pop up here on the screen just to remind you. They come up fantastic in velour. So if you're wanting to make something in velvet and velour, definitely think about the right pattern. I would also think about something like maybe the Sicily slip dress. That's a beautiful dress by Sewing Mason, and it has a really lovely bias cut, lovely cowl neck, gorgeous dress on with the thin straps. Tammy Handmade has one as well that I've totally forgotten the name, and she made that in either a silk or charmeuse or in a velvet. Would look stunning as well, and you can always pop a little throw on if it gets cooler. And also there's the Kingsley bias dress from Stylight Patterns is another one that would be fabulous in velvet. But yeah, wrap dresses are beautiful in velours or velvets. But yeah, I just love this dress and I can highly recommend the Deer and Doe Mistral. I'm looking at my iPad here because I've been alerted to a stunning pattern, and I know that Deb from DB Designs has made one of their patterns as well. Now, the bold one is a New Zealand company that actually has designer clothing, but they also sell their patterns, and you can buy their patterns in bundles. The bold one dress, there's a couple of dresses that they've are really popular. One is the Rossi and the Freddie wrap dress. There's also the Gracie wrap pattern. The Rossi and Freddie wrap pattern is a stunning dress. You've got a couple of versions there. You've got the really lovely V-neck with the puff sleeve, and that's what Deb was wearing for Frocktails, and it just looked incredible on her. She had it in a really lovely brocade or jacquard fabric. You could do it in a lot of different fabrics, and she actually put horsehair in the trim of the hem to give it that body, but it just looks really gorgeous. But I love the sleeve and the plunging V. I think a plunging V is always a really flattering style. I like to wear something with an open neck. I'm not a fan of anything up too high unless it is like a halter neck or a turtleneck with the sleeves cut out. You can really make a statement there as well. But this dress, or the Rossi and Freddie wrap pattern, you can even make in a tie-up strappy pattern with a beautiful pronounced bow. I just think it's gorgeous. So they're digital patterns only, and you do get quite a lot of variety of necklines. You've got the V-neck, you've got the square neck, and you've got that really lovely wraparound detail for the middle. I love a good tie detail for the middle. I think it works really well. So the deep square is really, really interesting as well. And then you can do the low square back. The front neck, you can either do a boat neck or a V-neck. And I love the look of this in so many different fabrics. So size range, I think, is a 6 to 30, which is fantastic. And you've got different customization for the wrap. So you could do it a lot of different ways, and they give you a lot of detail on how to do it differently, which is wonderful, because ties are one of those things I never quite know with a tie how to make it look, whether to do it in a bow or a side knot, and I always feel like I've never made it look sort of professional looking enough. So I think getting the detail and having a long enough tie is fantastic. The skirt section has princess panels, and also you've got the option for the split front. But really lovely, and I also have seen quite a few people make it with that strap detail on the tie-up. So yeah, really gorgeous dress pattern. You've got the sleeves, you've got the short puff sleeve with the elastic gathering, or the mid puff sleeve with like a cuff, or a longer sleeve with a shearing around the wrist, which is really interesting as well. So lots of different visuals here. I can see it's been made on so many different people, so many different body shapes and sizes, and lots of different fabric as well, which I love the look of that, because then you can see exactly, you can envision how it's going to look. Bundle is better value. You get 20% off, so you can get the Gracie, Rossi and Freddie for 20% off. So that's a really good bargain there. Really gorgeous patterns from a New Zealand designer. So a lovely dress pattern. Now I also loved Sarah from Sarah Sewed, another great Aussie vlogger. Everyone I mentioned today on the channel will be listed in the description box, so go and check out their channels if you haven't already. Now Sarah had on the Bella off the shoulder dress, and it was stunning on her. I'll put a pic up so you can see. Really lovely sort of asymmetric style neckline with the sort of different sleeve on one side and off the shoulder on the other. Really gorgeous pattern. I also love it in the longer sleeve. It has like a bell-shaped sleeve. So this pattern is stunning. She did say it had a side zip, and you can do it with a split in the front as well. And it has got the fish-eye darts in the back to give you shaping. The front has this lovely loose gathered effect that sort of bunches up on the side. So really gorgeous. Again, PDF only. And the dress can be made in a midi, a mini and a top, which I think would be great. And I think to make the top, to get the fit right, would be a really great idea to make a toile with the top. I actually really love the sleeve in this, and I love the mini, although I wouldn't make the mini for myself. I'd probably make it more to the knee length, but I think that would be a really gorgeous pattern. I could see that in a really lovely crepe. It's gorgeous as well in a silk fabric, really lovely. Now the size range on this is a 0 to 20, but I think that dress would be something really almost designer edge looking, really unusual, and it looks so great on Sarah. So it's definitely caught my attention, and it's one that I'd love to make. Another one I saw on Lizzie Studios is this really lovely Layla scarf dress, again PDF only, size 0 to 20. And when I mentioned before about having the neck up high, but then having this really lovely sort of one shoulder effect with the gathering. Has this really stunning hourglass figure, like A-line skirt. I just think this is beautiful. It's definitely something I would consider making even for frock tails. It has like a tie back feature and this really lovely scarf detail. So you're going to need to have something loose, floaty and drapey. Suggested fabrics for this one is a light to medium weight woven with a nice fluid texture. So yeah, as I said, crepes and satins, viscose, polyester, silk. So something with a lot of movement and fluidity would be beautiful. I love the look of this. I just love anything with a feminine kind of flow to it, nice floaty, flowy dress. Has a really otherworldly look to it, but definitely my cup of tea. And that is definitely a dress I am eyeing off. So stay tuned because I might even have to make that one. It would be beautiful to wear for a cocktail evening, night out, or a wedding as well. Now, I'm a Closet Crew member. I don't sign up to many memberships, but I really love Closet Crew's aesthetic. I love Heather Lou's passion for her business. I think her patterns are fantastic. They've really stood the test of time. They're beautiful patterns to make and to wear, and we do stock them in our store, but they're ones that I go back to time and time again, and I just feel they're classics to keep in the wardrobe. So if you ever have considered joining up and you're not really sure, you can always buy the standalone pattern by joining up for that month to get the pattern, and then you can cancel the membership. And I've done that before with Cashmere Rep, which I'll get to in a moment. But I decided to join up the Closet Crew membership about a year ago when they had a really great deal going around my birthday, and I actually joined up for the year. And when that year came around, I thought, look, I'll cancel it once the year's up, but I actually didn't. I am so through with the patterns and the ones that I've made, and I haven't made all of them. I probably made 3 or 4 out of the 12 that I've got, or actually maybe a bit more now, but they're ones that I really want to make, and I just think they're very beautifully designed. I love how Heather Lou this year has talked about decades. She's done, each decade for her patterns. The one that you will love this month would be a stunning dress to make for this time of year is the Celia pattern, and it is absolutely beautiful. I would say it's quite similar to the Rosalie dress by Mason Faux, but it has a few different little details as well. Now, the Celia is inspired by the designs of Ozzy Clark, and if you would like to go and listen to Heather Lou talk about the details of that in her vlog, which if you go to the Closet Core channel on YouTube, she talks all about the inspiration behind each pattern of each month. And Ozzy Clark's designs were a beautiful bohemian design in the 60s and 70s, but I love how it's got almost like that 40s vintage aesthetic, but that 70s feel. I think the Celia is beautiful. I'm going to put my glasses on here because I'm having trouble reading this. So basically it features a dramatic banded V neckline, soft gathering on the shoulder, which I really love. I love the higher neck at the back, the gathers, and that plunging V, I think just suits so many people, and it's one of my favorite styles. So the gathering the shoulders and under the bust, so it gives you that nice sort of fit. You've got the side seam zipper, the curved bodice that flows from an empire height front, which dips gracefully at the natural waist and gives that nice A-line swishy skirt. Beautiful style dress. Gently puffed sleeves, which have an inverted box pleat, so a little bit different to the Mason Faux Rosalie. Skirt is quite swishy and full, whereas the Rosalie by Mason Faux is the princess seaming and more of an A-line with a split at the front. So a little bit different, but a bit similar as well. Optional contoured belt offers additional styling versatility. That's really nice if you want to make a nice feature with a belt. So it's definitely one I want to make up. I think it's beautiful, and I know their size ranges, I think 0 to 30 as well. I think the fabrics that they have made these on, the model's absolutely stunning. It's like a block print, but it's a viscose. But it's really, really beautiful. And I think that shawl back neck collar really gives it that elegant look. And I love that belt feature as well. So definitely worth looking at Closet Crew patterns just to get the Celia dress. And yeah, think about your soft fluid fabrics again would work beautifully, but also you could definitely make it in something like a linen or a linen viscose blend. But yeah, I think that pattern's really, really stunning. Now, again, talking about pattern and pattern memberships, the Cashmere Club is one that I joined up when it first started. Then I got halfway through because I think a lot of the patterns, because they're designed for C cup and up, they do make the size range now 0 to 30, which is great. But a lot of their other patterns were only for C cup to F cup. Now, the newer patterns, I think they may be using all cup sizes. So of course, cashmere red is for the curvier sewers. That's one thing that they predominantly why they made their patterns. And I think having that option for sewers that need, especially things like full bust adjustments, is wonderful. But I have to admit, this month I went and joined up just to get this pattern because I absolutely love it. It is, I would say, a dupe. I'm not quite sure. Looks like the Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress, that iconic 70s wrap dress. I reckon they've modeled it on that. But it's so beautiful. I went ahead and bought the pattern and cancelled the membership. But I know for Black Friday, they had a really good deal on for joining up for Cashmere Club. But looking back through the older patterns, a lot of them were C cup and up, and I'm actually a B cup in sewing. So I'm going to wait and see with their newer patterns that they're releasing each month. If they do release a wider range of cup sizes, I might think about joining up. But then again, I can wait and see if the pattern is my cup of tea and then maybe just purchase and cancel, which is you're allowed to do that. They've always said that it's an option there. But the Hazelton is beautiful. It is a classic wrap dress, perfect to be made in things like viscose jerseys, any kind of spandex jersey, double brush poly. Like, you can just about make it in any kind of stretch knit. And I love the neckline. I love the little collar detail on there as well. You do get that complete sew along online, which is also wonderful. But I think the thing that sold it to me was seeing that beautiful plaid or checked fabric there on the model, and also seeing it in a lovely Merlot color. Just beautiful. I love that classic wrap dress. I think I can never have enough wrap dresses. They're just so flattering, and they give you a really lovely shape, and they're so comfortable to wear. And you've also got the option to do the little cuffs on the ends of the sleeves. And I would personally probably make that in a shorter sleeve to wear for summer. But I can see how you guys in the Northern Hemisphere would be drooling over this to make for a wintry make. And also with some beautiful patterned or like lacy tights, it'd also be lovely. That fabric I just think is stunning with the black binding, the black belt. But again, in a classic bold color, just gorgeous as well. So I had to go and buy that. And I know I could have probably gone and bought the Vogue pattern, the Diane von Furstenberg pattern, but I just thought, look, I love the fit of cashmere patterns. I just think they're really lovely to sew and to wear. And another smashing dress of theirs. They've got so many beautiful dresses, but the Rose Clare dress is a really lovely wrap dress in a woven with the tiers. I made that in a really lovely Madame Iris fabric about 3 years ago now. It's the most beautifully fitted wrap dress I think I own, and I need to make more. Now remember, you don't have to make the tiered skirt. You can do it in just a simple long line skirt as well. But really great pattern. You got options for like a puff sleeve. You can probably even put like a fluted butterfly sleeve on that, which would be beautiful as well. But yeah, that's a fabulous pattern. Another fantastic V-neck pattern with a really lovely, almost a kimono style sleeve and that nice higher back is the Seasons of East Summer in New York dress. I've made 2 of them in the past. One in a block print for summer. The size range is 8 to 26. It's actually not as complicated to get the fit right. Look at your finished garment measurements, always is the best way to tell, especially for around the bust, around the middle. The only thing is, if you're larger than a B to a C cup, you might need to do an FBA for this one. But it's a really great pattern. It's simple. It showcases a print beautifully. Anything like a cotton, linen viscose, a satin, just about anything looks fantastic in this. And the old classic Vogue V9253, I think they've changed the actual number of it now. That one is one in the past that I'd made a very similar feel to this pattern, but it has the crossover front and a lot more volume in the skirt, a maxi skirt, really dramatic. And it is a very fabric hungry dress. You will use a lot of fabric for that. And it's just the most floaty, beautiful dress ever. But if you want something a little bit more refined, a bit more simple, you might prefer the Seasons of East Summer in New York. If you're looking for something, again, similar to the summer in New York, but something a little bit less sleeve, I would say the Lois dress by Tessuti Patterns is also another fantastic pattern. It's one of my favorites, and I'm probably going to make one for heading out. We're going to be going to the city next month. Out and about. I'll take you with me for Vlogmas, but I want to make myself Tessuti Lois dress. It is a simple, classic pattern. It has this lovely movement to the skirt. It fits the body really nicely, but also has a nice amount of ease. Perfect length for me. Love that kind of cut off sleeve, so not too strappy, not too wide a sleeve, but it's a really fantastic pattern. The lowest, I think it might only go to an 18. That's the only problem. I don't think they've ever upgraded the size range, which is a bit disappointing on that lowest dress, but it's a fabulous pattern. Now, the lovely ladies at Mason Faux have just released a new pattern for Christmas, which we have ordered. It is called the Notte dress, and we have them coming. I'm going to put some pics up to show you. It is reminiscent of their Volata blouse with that curved V neck. It is a stunner on Emily, and she's got it in this beautiful gold fabric. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to seeing this one in person, and love Mason Faux patterns. They are beautiful dressy patterns. So that one will be coming probably in about a week's time. But again, talking about Mason Faux patterns, there's so many beautiful dresses to make from their collection. Of course, I made my daughter Eliza the Rosalie dress for Frock Tales. That is a gorgeous dress and well worth making. I made it in an Eglanton at Zoe Strelly print fabric. It has that same feel that the Celia dress does, but the skirt's a little bit more fitted around the middle, has the princess seams and a similar kind of bodice, but a different sleeve, but very vintage 1940s, and she loved wearing that. I would say there also has the beautiful Patchoula pattern, which would be gorgeous in something like a brocade or even a silk charmeuse or a silk jacquard or viscose would be really stunning. It has a lovely, again, that pleating on the sleeve, which is beautiful. They have also their daiquiri dress if you want to experiment with some lace, or maybe do a lined dress with lace and that really lovely scallop shoulder detail. That daiquiri dress is one I'm always eyeing off, thinking I would love to see that done. Their peninsula dress is one that I really love as well. You do have that scarf neck, pussy bow style detail, but I've seen it made in the simple keyhole neck with just the tie in a blue on Emily, and I just think it's a stunning looking dress. Their pattern inventory is so classy and beautiful, and all their pattern envelopes are just so well worth collecting. But I could go on and on about their dress patterns. There's so many beautiful and standout dress patterns from their collection, but they're the ones that I personally have handpicked out for you today. We love Pattern Emporium patterns. I think the thing with the Pattern Emporium patterns is they're so versatile. There's the beautiful Kate is always showcasing her patterns in so many different fabrics. The standout ones that I think that you may have missed, I'm not sure, a lot of you would probably have heard of the Entice Me dress, which is a knit pattern. Very simple, like almost like bodycon dress, but you don't have to wear it really tight. The thing I love about it is that you have this add-on cowl back detail, and I have made that before in the past, and it's such a stunning feature to have that low cowl back. It works really well in just an ITY or a DTY viscose jersey. It really is a stunning pattern, but she's got so many beautiful patterns, and in the past I've made the Hello Gorgeous sleeve, which is that puff sleeve. I've added it onto the Fit and Flare. The Fit and Flare is a stunning dress as well. You can do so much with the neckline. You can do, your square neck, your round neck, your V neck. You can add, belts and ties on, that kind of thing. So there's lots of different scope for experimenting with Kate's patterns, because she does have featured in her patterns what sleeves match back with what dresses. But I think that Entice Me dress is beautiful, as is that Going Places with that flippy skirt. But yeah, heaps of dresses to go and check out from the lovely Kate from Pattern Emporium. I love the new dress from Liesl & Co, the Copenhagen dress. This is a really classy dress, and one that when I look at it, it looks really comfortable to wear, but quite modern and very wearable for the festive season. You could really set it off with a nice fabric, maybe something with a bit of shimmer. I think maybe even like something like a silk, really lovely quality linen would be beautiful in that as well. But it has a lovely blouse on effect at the waist, a wrap style dress, but really different. And Liesl & Co patterns are very unique. I think they do such a great job. So it looks gorgeous featured in the linen. You've got the longer sleeve, very dramatic looking statement-y sleeve, or you can actually do it in a mid-length sleeve as well. Both of them look gorgeous. Size range is 0 to 20 on that. Has a nice fitted skirt, and I think that waist detail, it's like a drop waist with that sash that goes across and ties and gives you that nice rouging across the tummy. But yeah, that's a really classy looking pattern. You've also got the pocket detail there as well, but great looking pattern, that one. How gorgeous is the new dress from the assembly line? It's called the Flutter Sleeve Dress pattern. It has a beautiful, quite large floaty sleeve that I think you could do so much with. It has princess seam throughout the front. It's designed with the narrow shoulders and a gently flared A-line skirt, practical side seam pockets, and concealed zipper at the back. So I love the look of that. I think that one in that blue silk fabric is just really, really stunning. And normally they go quite simple with their patterns, and this one I think is quite a detailed looking pattern. But yeah, you've got options to do elastic casing around the bottom of the sleeves as well, but really, really gorgeous pattern, and in that blue, so striking. They've also got their balloon sleeve dress pattern. Again, similar style dress in the body, but you've got this really dramatic balloon puff at the bottom of the sleeves. So really quite tailored in the body and the skirt, and the drama is all with the sleeves. Really gorgeous. So remember, the more structure the fabric, the more volume those sleeves are going to get, but I think you could do something really statementy with that one. If you're wanting a dress, again, another knit dress and something a bit different, the Starlark Rowie is one of my favorites. I made that back in July, and it has this really unusual design where it's sort of cut slightly against the stretch, so you go the opposite way around. It'll show you on the directions which way you're meant to have the arrows facing, but it gives this kind of, creates this nice drama and this nice drape. I also would love to see that in a sleeveless design for us here in summer. I think it would work well, and personally for me, I love the dress. I would actually love to make it in the top as well for summer, like in the sleeveless. Also, the Tustin dress is another one that I really love. I made that one in one of our boxes this year in a Lady McElroy crepe viscose jersey. And it is a simple dress to make, really dramatic with that nice sort of wrap tie detail. Very simple dress all over, but that tie and drapiness at the front just gives you such a nice shape and really cinches you in. So if you want a simple dress to make that won't be too much fussing around, that one is a great dress to make. I love the look of the Emporia Patterns Paloma. If you love that kind of neckline, that's almost like cut across the sleeve here in the higher neck, the Paloma is quite dramatic and beautiful, and it really gives you a lovely shape. So if you like to bare your arms and you want something around the neck, that detail is beautiful, and it really does showcase a beautiful print. It gives you all that detail in the long line skirt there, but looks so beautiful. I know that the Emporia Patterns won't be printing paper patterns anymore, so what we have left in the shop is all we're going to get. But they have also released another new dress. Now, I've forgotten the name of it, but I saw it had this beautiful frill detail on the front, like almost like a V detail. But that one I think would be gorgeous for making for us here heading into summer as well. If you love a bit of a 60s swingy kind of mini dress, the Hetty by Sew Over It is beautiful. You could make this in a really eye-catching shimmery kind of fabric, like a brocade or jacquard. Those kind of glitzy fabrics can sometimes be quite hard to think about what to make other than, a pencil skirt or a sheath style dress. So this one's got quite a lot of detail. It's got a little box or inverted box pleat at the front, so you give that like a shift style, but almost like the A-line. Nice dramatic sleeve, but really, really cute, and will look gorgeous with a pair of boots or a little pair of heels as well. So Liberated has a beautiful dress called the Ember dress, and I love how they've showcased it in a nice, like a rich silk fluid fabric, silk or satin. Also, you could do it in a beautiful, like a cotton lawn, and add quite a lot of details with things like lace. It has a really lovely soft V neck, and you've got the drawstring with that fitted waist detail, but then you've got that lovely sort of loose floaty skirt. I think that dress is really, really lovely, the way they've showcased it in all the different fabrics, but it's more for us, if you want something a bit simple to really show off a fabric, I think that Ember would be gorgeous. So princess seams, it's got perfectly balanced puff sleeves, not too dramatic, but they've stated it's a timeless heirloom style. Again, the waist ties, I think, really is what does it for me, but love the look of that. Now, I just recently purchased in the Black Friday sales, I purchased myself the Chalk and Notch Haze dress. This one is a cord set or a dress, but the dress seems quite simple. It's got this lovely little notched V-neck and elasticized waist, but what I love is that cutout detail at the back just above the waist, and I think it'd be beautiful for making in a broderie fabric, maybe for here in summertime, for Christmas, a black or a white or even a red broderie, even a really lovely red linen I could see that in. So I'm personally going to be making the dress. I don't know what in, but it'll be a linen. I'm just not sure what color yet, but that one for me is a really stunning dress, and I really love the fact you can make it in a cord set as well, so really practical, but lovely sort of cap sleeve as well, which is one of my favorites, and great size range again. It's only on PDF. They haven't released it in a paper format, but I snapped that one up because I really love the style of that. So if you want something a bit more simple to wear, again, that could be the dress for you. I love the Veronica Tucker Cordelia. If you love that lovely cord detail that runs through the front, gives that nice waist detail, really gorgeous dress. You can also buy the sleeve bundle from Aussie designer Veronica Tucker. I think when you see it with the sleeveless, and it looks so different with the puff sleeve as well, but I think it could really showcase a beautiful fabric in that. So it's all about the corded ruching waist detail. Features a round neckline, keyhole back opening, side seam pockets, and fully faced bodice. So it also has the perfect waist definer without being too figure hugging, great for a Christmas lunch. So I really love the look of that, and I think it's really nice to see it all done in different types of fabrics as well. So if you want to add the sleeves, you can purchase the Veronica Tucker Sleeve Studio Pack, where you get the long Audrey sleeve or the short Audrey sleeve. You get the Freya, which is a 3/4 or long or short, or the Hera sleeve. So that is only $10 as a PDF bundle, and you can then add that onto the Cordelia. So that gives you lots of different options. But yeah, Veronica Tucker, the label, such gorgeous patterns. Go and check out her designs. Support these wonderful young designers. I think she's doing a great job. And another fantastic Aussie designer that you will have known by now, because I've mentioned her so many times, is the lovely Imbi from Kame Apparel. Everyone says it differently. I'd like to hear if you know the correct pronunciation. And Imbi, if you're watching, let me know. But I love her dresses, and you will see that the Drama Queen dress, which is one that I made for our last month's box, was a stunning pattern to make, and definitely worthwhile thinking about. You have these really lovely 3-layered frilled sleeves that really give it impact. A lovely sort of low neck front, quite low, so watch that. If you don't want it too low, you might have to adjust that. There's quite a lot of volume in the gathered skirt that I actually took out. I don't like too much volume, and especially because I made that in a cotton double gauze with beautiful moon and star print on it, I took quite a lot of volume out. But you can do that. You can definitely tweak things to your own body, your own preferences, but it's all about the drama of those sleeves, and I would love to see it done in a sort of softer drapier style fabric, because I've done it in the cotton double gauze, which gives that a lot of volume. But I absolutely love this dress on. I think it's going to be one of my favorites this year. And yeah, Imbi has some beautiful patterns. You've also got the Love Child dress. There's so many different bohemian style dresses over there if you want something a bit different for Christmas time. Also, her tablecloth top is a fabulous little blouse pattern as well. So definitely can highly recommend some great Aussie designers there. Another shout out for Cashmerette, because there's the Upton dress. If you're wanting to make something again in a brocade or jacquard or a silk or satin, the Upton dress is a knockout pattern, and I'm going to put a pic up here so you can see exactly what I mean. But you can actually get the Upton pack, which gives you so many different options for necklines and sleeves. You also have the option to make the Upton skirt. So if you want to make a big statement full skirt, that's definitely an option there as well. But that's a really good and versatile pack there to give you lots of different options to change up the style. But if you just want that simple sleeveless style, the Upton is just so elegant and beautiful. Has a gorgeous swishy skirt, but you can do it fully lined as well. There's lots of different options to do something really dramatic. Now, a couple of other knit patterns that you may know about or you may not know. I love the Agatha from Fibre Mood, and that's one I was actually thinking about making. It has that vintage 40s nod with the low V and that lovely fluttery sleeve, and that lovely sort of empire line, the way that falls from the waist. So that one is fantastic to make. Really simple pattern, looks smashing in any kind of viscose jersey or ITY. It really depends on what you want to do with it, but I think it's a fabulous pattern. And I've been searching for some halter neck style patterns. The one I love that has that neck feature would be the Aalto from Papercut Patterns. Now I made that last year in our February box for A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I absolutely fell in love with the designer that has this lovely knot sort of feature at the front, and it just falls beautifully. Very kind of Grecian style dress, really beautiful in a soft crepe or viscose fabric, but very statementy. You can make it in a top as well, and the size range I think goes up to a 32. So you got the curvier option there, but really great pattern if you want to make something statementy around the neck and then have the sleeveless, so quite dramatic. I also love the Suvi dress from Named Patterns. That I think you could really do something elegant and beautiful with. It has that rouging on the top of the shoulders, and you could make, you know, something in a nice drapey soft fabric, but you also have that nice sort of waist detail. It really looks different when they've simplified it in a shorter dress with the linen as well. So really love that. There's also the Aliocha, now I'm going to say, is it Aliocha? Aliocha dress from Coralie Bijasson. That's a really interesting sort of crossover neck detail. Again, that same style, the sleeveless, but it's not quite a halter. It's a bit different again. I love the look of this, and I think it looks gorgeous on the models, the way they've got it styled. Again, it's a woven pattern. It looks very vintagey, very cocktail. I love it also in a print and in the simple color. You can do it in a jumpsuit, with the pants or the skirt or the shorts, which is fantastic. But I think it's definitely one that I would consider making. I'm not a fan of strappy dresses because I do have sort of smaller shoulders, but I think with having just that neck detail, it's a really interesting design. So yeah, it has the sleeves that cross over and go at the back sort of straight, so it won't be falling off. But I think that one is a gorgeous dress pattern and something really unusual. I love Charcut pattern. She has so many beautiful patterns to consider looking at, but the one I have been eyeing off is the Alex dress. Now this is size 34 to 52. We do have this available in paper format, but you can also buy it in PDF as well. It's a lovely long line wrap over and waisted dress. The pattern features a short row of buttons at the top of the skirt, leaving the slit lower down. So it's really unusual with that button side detail, so you won't have to worry about it flapping open. And I also love that it has little flared ruffles on the shoulders. You've got a fully lined bust bodice there as well. Really gorgeous dress. Fabrics that are recommended. She's made hers in a Swiss dot cotton voile, but you can use chambray, cotton, poplin, tencel, viscose, broderie, or linen. So a stunning looking dress there for a different version of a wrap dress. A lovely customer of ours called Madeline has actually brought to my attention a beautiful dress with an incredible floaty billowy sleeve. It's called the Cloud Dress. It's by Sewing Amour. Or Moray, and it is a simple, comfortable yet romantic design dress, perfect to throw on and romanticize your life. But also you can feel nice and cozy in it as well. So the whole dress is quite puffy, including the sleeves, so it's quite a lot of volume there. But she just stated that if you find the right type of fabric, you can really showcase it beautifully with this. And I think that gauze that the model's wearing is just absolutely beautiful in this. You've got the tie back detail with a little scoop out at the back there, which gives it that nice dramatic look. But yeah, lovely smock style dress, but with a really gorgeous sleeve. So lots of volume in the skirt. You can do different length sleeves as well there. Size range is 32 to 62 or US 0 to 30. But there's lots of different models wearing this dress, and it is really, really stunning. And I can imagine that if you had a beautiful floaty fabric, that would really do that dress justice. So that's a gorgeous dress called the Cloud Dress. So that's my little roundup today. I could literally go on for hours. There are so many beautiful designers out there, so many gorgeous patterns, and I just love the look of some of these more formal or more dressy style patterns, but it's great to also have some wearable ones that you can maybe pick and choose to go out in to wear to other occasions as well. I know there's so many different new designers out there. If you have a favorite pattern that you're maybe making for a special event for this time of year, please write it in the comments below, because people do read those comments, and I think if we can share around those pattern suggestions, you can always learn something from other sewers in the community. So thank you so much for spending some time here with me today. I've really enjoyed presenting this. Phoebe and I will have our makers gallery coming up in the next week or so to show you guys all the beautiful makes that our customers have made. I know you all love watching that. Go and check out our store, the dahliasewciety.au, linked in the description below, and all the patterns I discussed here will be linked as well. A lot of these are PDF only, but some of them are available in our store. Some are available in PDF and paper, so it really can be a great resource if they're all linked there. If there's something that's caught your eye. So thanks so much for watching today. I'll catch up with you very shortly. Let me know what you're making for Christmas, or if you've decided or not, because I still haven't. So take care. See you soon. Bye for now.